Welcome back students. We were dealing with chapter 8 motion. In the last lecture we studied acceleration. What is acceleration? Yes, it is the rate of change of velocity of a moving body. It is measured in meter per second square and its formula is A is equal to V minus U upon T. What is V here? Final velocity. What is U here? Initial velocity, and T is time. So now let us see the numericals based on this formula of acceleration. Find the acceleration gained by a body in 5 seconds if its initial velocity is 20 meter per second and final velocity is 40 meter per second. So as I told you, whenever you see any question, first of all you have to write the given part. What is given here? Initial velocity. It is denoted by u. So u is equal to 20 meter per second. Final velocity denoted by v. So v is equal to 40 meter per second. And time interval, that is t, is equal to 5 seconds. Here we are asked to find acceleration. So what is the formula for acceleration? A is equal to V minus U upon T. Substitute the value of V, U and T. You will get A is equal to 40 minus 20 upon 5, that is equal to 20 upon 5, that is equal to 4 meter per second square. So acceleration gained by the body is 4 meter per second square. Next question. A bus decreases its speed from 80 km per hour to 60 km per hour in 5 seconds. Find acceleration gained by the bus. See students, here speed of the bus is decreasing. So what will be produced? Retardation will be produced. So the value of acceleration which you will get will be negative. First of all, let us see the given parts. U, initial velocity is equal to 80 km per hour. V, final velocity is equal to 60 km per hour, and time t is equal to 5 seconds. Now here velocity is given in km per hour and time is given in second. So we have to convert velocity into meter per second. You are knowing the formula, right? What is the formula? 1 km per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. When you will solve, you will get u is equal to 22.22 meter per second. If you will solve by this way, then also you will get the same answer. When you will solve V, you will get V is equal to 16.66 meter per second. Now apply the formula. A is equal to V minus U upon T, that is 16.66 minus 22.22 upon 5, that is equal to minus 1.11 meter per second square. Next question. A vehicle starting its motion from rest travels along a straight path and acquires 36 km per hour velocity in 10 seconds. Due to application of brakes, its velocity reduces to 18 km per hour in 5 seconds. Find acceleration in both the cases. Now students, here first of all you need to understand the question properly. A vehicle is starting its motion from rest. Since it is starting its motion from rest, its initial velocity u will be equal to 0. Now it is traveling along a straight path and acquires velocity 36 km per hour. So its final velocity is 36 km per hour and time required for this is 10 seconds. So this is our first case. Now due to application of brakes, its velocity reduces to 18 km per hour. So now brakes are applied and its velocity is reducing to 80 km per hour. So during this, what was initial velocity? 36 km per hour, and now due to application of brakes, its velocity is reducing to 80 km per hour. So in the second case, initial velocity u is equal to 36 km per hour and final velocity v is equal to 18 km per hour, and time for it is 5 seconds. And we are asked to find acceleration in both the cases. So for first case, u is equal to 0, v is equal to 36 km per hour, and you know that we have to convert this 36 km per hour into meter per second. How you will convert? Yes, 36 into 5 by 18, that is equal to 10 meter per second. T is equal to 10 seconds. So apply the formula. E is equal to V minus U upon T, that is 10 minus 0 upon 10, that is equal to 1 meter per second square. So the acceleration in first case is 1 meter per second square. Now for the second square, what is initial velocity? U is equal to 36 km per hour, that is equal to 10 meter per second, and final velocity v is equal to 18 km per hour, that is equal to 18 into 5 by 18, that is equal to 5 meter per second, and time interval t is equal to 5 seconds. So again apply the formula v minus u upon t, you will get 5 minus 10 by 5, that is equal to minus 1 meter per second square. Here acceleration is negative. So what is produced? Retardation is produced. And why retardation is produced? Because brakes were applied and its velocity is decreasing. So students, clear now how to solve this numerical? This way you have to solve the numericals related to acceleration. Students, it is always said that a picture represents more than words. So here now we are going to study graphical representation of motion. How to represent motion with the help of graph. You will be studying in detail about graph, plotting in the graph in maths later. Here I will just give you the information which is required over here. Here XY quadrant is represented and x-axis and y-axis intersect each other at point O, which is called origin. Now whenever you are plotting a graph, two quantities are plotted over here. From this, the quantity which is independent quantity is taken on x-axis and the quantity which is dependent quantity is always taken on y-axis. This you have to keep in mind. Dependent quantity on y-axis and independent quantity on x-axis. Suppose that we want to draw distance versus time graph. So distance, which represents the position of a body, is dependent on time. So it is a dependent quantity and time is independent quantity. So where you will take position or distance? Yes, you will have to take distance on y-axis and time on x-axis. Now the values of distance and time are given over here. So during the motion, after 1 second body has covered 10 meter distance, after 2 seconds 20 meter, after 3 seconds 30 meter, after 4 seconds 40 meter. Now we will see how to plot this on graph. So for this, first of all you have to draw x-axis and y-axis and they both intersect each other at point O. Now you know you have to take time on x-axis and position on y-axis. Now see the values of time. What are there? 1, 2, 3 and 4. So you have to take this 1, 2, 3 and 4 on time axis, and for this there should be equal space between 0 and 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, etc. In same way, what are the values of position or distance given to us? 10, 20, 30, 40, right? So there should be equal space between 0 and 10, 10 and 20, 20 and 30 and so on. Now let us take the first observation. After 1 second body is at 10 meter. So you have to draw a dashed line from 1 and dashed line from 10, and where they are meeting you have to take a point over there. Similarly, for second observation you have to draw a dashed line from 2 and a dashed line from 20, and where they are meeting you have to put a point over there. Similarly 3 and 30, and similarly you have to plot 4 and 40, and then you have to draw a straight line from 0 joining all these 4 points. This way you have to plot distance versus time graph. I mean this graph. Otherwise all the graphs are plotted this way only, by containing dependent quantity on y-axis and taking independent quantity on x-axis. Now students, when you will see the values of distance and time over here, you can see that in every second it is covering 10 meter distance. So we can say that it is performing which kind of motion? Yes, uniform motion. And when we plotted the graph, it was a straight line passing through origin. So if a graph of distance versus time is given to you, and if it is a straight line passing through origin, then you can clearly say that it is representing uniform motion or motion with uniform speed, right? So this is the use of graph. Without plotting or without knowing anything, you can state the type of motion of a body. So the first use of distance versus time graph is, with the help of it we can know the type of motion of a body. See the first graph, we have already discussed it, and it is representing motion with uniform speed. Now when you will see the second graph, you can see that it is representing non-uniform motion, that is it is the motion with non-uniform speed. Now observe the third case or the third graph. Here the graph is a straight line parallel to time axis. Here you can observe that distance is not changing with time, it is remaining constant with time, it is a straight line. So what does it represent? If a body is not changing its distance, it is at rest. So if a graph is a line parallel to time axis, then it is representing that body is at rest. The second use of distance versus time graph is, with the help of this graph we can find the speed of a moving body, and for finding the speed of a moving body we will have to calculate the slope of the graph. So we will calculate the slope of this graph. Students, you have to keep in mind, it can be asked in the short answers, slope of distance versus time graph gives what? It gives speed of the moving body. Here we have marked all the points in the graph, right? Now from these 4 points you can take any 2 points which you like. Here we are taking the points joining 2 and 20 and 4 and 40. Call it as point A and point B. Now what you have to do, you have to take x1 as a point on x-axis where A is meeting, and y1 as point on y-axis where A is meeting. Similarly, x2 as point on x-axis where B is meeting, and y2 as point on y-axis where B is meeting. Now let us see how to calculate slope. Formula for slope is y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. So from the graph, y2 is 40, y1 is 20, x2 is 4 and x1 is 2. So we will get 40 minus 20 upon 4 minus 2, that is equal to 20 by 2, that is equal to 10. So speed is equal to 10 meter per second. Now from this slope, how we are getting speed? Let us see. Now this y2 minus y1, it is the distance travelled. And what is x2 minus x1? It is the time taken. With the help of graph you can see it clearly. So ultimately this slope is distance travelled upon time taken. And what is distance travelled upon time taken? Speed. So the slope of distance versus time graph gives speed. The third use of distance versus time graph is, you can locate the position of body at any instant of time. Suppose that you are asked, how much distance body has covered after an interval of 10 seconds, and you have to find the distance travelled by the body after 10 seconds using this graph. So what you have to do, you have to draw a dashed line from 10 seconds to the graph, and from the graph you have to draw the line to y-axis. You have to see where it is intersecting. Here you can see that it is intersecting at 20. So after 10 seconds, body has covered 20 meter distance. This way you can locate the position of the body also. Now students, this is an exercise for you. You have to calculate the slope of this graph by considering any 2 points you want. Next is velocity versus time graph. Now in order to plot velocity versus time graph, first of all you have to see which is independent quantity and which is dependent quantity. Now students, you very well know velocity is dependent on time. If time is changing, then only velocity will change. So velocity is dependent quantity and time is independent quantity. So what you should take on x-axis? Yes, time, and velocity is taken on y-axis. Now the first use of velocity versus time graph is to determine the type of motion of a body. See the first graph. Here you can see that velocity is increasing equally in equal interval of time. How you came to know? Because you can see that graph is a straight line, and when velocity is increasing equally in equal interval of time, it is a motion with uniform acceleration. Right? We have seen in the last lecture. So first graph represents uniform motion with uniform acceleration. Now in the second graph you can see that velocity is not increasing uniformly in equal interval of time. So it is a motion with non-uniform acceleration. And the third graph is a line parallel to time axis. Now if you see a line parallel to time axis, don't say that body is at rest. It was for distance versus time graph. Now it is velocity versus time graph, and here a straight line parallel to time axis means that velocity is constant. And if velocity is constant, it is not changing, then v minus u will be 0. So it is a motion with zero acceleration, which means that uniform motion, that is motion with uniform velocity. The second use of velocity versus time graph is to find the distance travelled by the body. Here you can see that velocity versus time graph of a body is shown, and it is a graph with uniform acceleration. Now, how to find the distance travelled by the body with the help of this graph? For this, first of all, draw a straight line from the end of the graph to y-axis. You can see that it intersects at 50. Now, what is formed here? A rectangle is formed, and from the figure it is very much clear that the area covered by the graph is half of the rectangle. So, what you have to do? You have to find the area of the rectangle and divide it by 2. What is the formula for area of rectangle? Length into breadth. So, area covered by the graph will be length into breadth by 2, or you can say breadth into height by 2. Here breadth is 5 and height is 50. So, 5 into 50 by 2, that is equal to 125. So, distance covered by the body in 5 seconds is 125 meter. This way you can find the distance travelled by the body with the help of velocity versus time graph. Another use of velocity versus time graph is to find the acceleration of the body. And how you will find the acceleration? With the help of the slope, because ultimately the slope is the ratio of velocity upon time, and this change in velocity upon time is acceleration. So, students, keep in mind that slope of velocity versus time graph gives the acceleration of the body, and this is another task for you. You have to find the acceleration with the help of this graph, and you know how to find it. So, students, let us revise what we studied in this lecture. First of all, we solved the numericals related to acceleration, and then we studied the graphical representation of motion. And after that, we studied uses of distance versus time graph and velocity versus time graph. So, let us recall the uses. First use of distance versus time graph is to study the type of motion of the body. Second, to find the speed of moving body with the help of the slope. And third one is to determine the position of the body in motion at any instant of time. Now, uses of velocity versus time graph to study the type of motion of body. Next, to find the acceleration of the body with the help of the slope, and third one, to find the distance travelled by the body by calculating the area. So, that's all for this lecture. We'll continue the topics in the next lecture.